Hi guys, Shane Unruh here with Great Plains Traditional Bow Company, and today is an exciting day at Great Plains. We're going to introduce to you the new design I've been working on. I actually designed it over Christmas. I took a day off there right over Christmas or two and designed a new bow, and it is the hybrid longbow, and the name of it is the Houdini. And I'll tell you why I designed this. Because I've been getting a lot of requests the last 5 years for a short hunting bow, a short, aggressive, fast hunting bow. And another request I've been getting a lot is guys that have real short draws are not able to find as many options out there as the guys with the standard draw, the 28-inch, 29, 30-inch draw. So most bow companies in the US and worldwide build bows based on a 28-inch draw platform. Well, when all the bows are built that way, that means that the limbs are maximizing the full potential at 28 inches. So when you drop down below that, sure, they can order a heavier poundage bow, and maybe they're drawing 25 inches, 26 inches, and they can just order a heavier one, and it'll be their desired weight. You know, if they need a 40 pounder, they could order a 50 pounder, you know, and at their draw it might be around 40 pounds, but that's not really ideal. It's actually quite a big issue. The issue is when a bow is built to maximize the full potential of the limbs at a 28-inch draw length, when you draw it only 25 inches, let's say, that means that yes, it'll still shoot, and yes, it could be made to the poundage that you want, but the limbs will not perform at the same level as they would at 28 inches because you're not maximizing the full potential of the limbs. You're losing speed, you're losing performance, all kinds of stuff. This is one of the reasons I designed this. There's several reasons, but this is probably the biggest reason. And I've had a lot of guys call me and say, I have a 25-inch draw. I cannot find anything to fit me because the bows are slow when I get them. They're slow because the limbs aren't maximizing the full potential. So I designed this bow with that in mind. The other reason I designed it is it's short and it's aggressive. So this is a strung. You can see it's almost like a boomerang here. But if you look at this, I'm going to pick one of these up here. So this is a 54. I've got a number of them here. I'm going to grab a 52-inch. This is a 52-inch Blackhawk model of our Houdini hybrid. And you can see how super aggressive this is. So this bow is the deflex coming off of the riser is 25 degrees. And coming back, reflexing, the degrees change just a little bit depending on the length of the bow. But the 52 to 54, they hover around 40 degrees of reflex coming back up. If I were to put a straight edge, completely straight, a straight line, this is about 25 degrees, this is about 40. So this is really aggressive. So the other reason I designed this bow this way is when you have a limb profile this aggressive, you can shoot a super short bow. You can shoot a super short length and have your standard 28, 29, 30-inch draw, and it'll still be smooth because so much of this limb is uncurling and working. It's all working. And so you're just maximizing this. I don't know if I can do this, if I can flex this like this. I've never tried this before, but you can make that. And so the point I'm getting to is you can shoot a very super short length of bow and still have it be smooth and fast. So that detail right there allows archers, especially hunters, to get in small places like ground blinds, tree stands, spot and stock, and then they can have a 52 or 54-inch bow. Like a 54-inch, it doesn't start stacking till after 28 inches. So you've got a 54-inch bow, which would be this one right here. This is a 54. So look how short that is. So if you've got a standard 28-inch draw, it's not even going to stack on you at your draw. I have been shooting a 54 just for fun. I have a 29-inch draw, and it stacks just a little bit, maybe a half a pound more increase on that extra inch after 28. but it's still comfortable and fun enough that I would hunt with it. And it would be great. And I've got a super short hunting bow that I can take in a lot of tight places. So it was that reason, and the fact that I needed a platform that accommodated guys with 24 to 26 inch draws, that the bow would still have high performance at that short of draw length. That is the reason I designed the hybrid longbow called the Houdini. Now, the Houdini it's got tapered laminations in the limb. In the very core of it is 20 thousandths of carbon. Now, I tried it without carbon, and a lot of field testing will go into this bow yet. Getting it in people's hands, having the feedback come back from them, that's always good for R&D and development and progression of a series. We are to the place with it where we're happy enough with it that we're happy to let it go out into the public and be used. It's a very fast bow. It's very smooth. But also, when you get so aggressive, so super aggressive with limbs like this, you end up with something, the tiller becomes a little bit more sensitive. Now, some of this here isn't going to matter too much to the guys watching this or to you all watching this, but it is important. The reason is because when you get this aggressive with a hybrid longbow limb, you have to have some rigidity into this limb so that the limb maintains proper tiller after it's completely tuned. And that is one reason why the carbon core is in there. It is super aggressive, and it's got a lot of deflex and reflex. So the carbon core does two things. It makes this limb super rigid, so it doesn't flex, and it's very stable. It can't twist. It's bomb proof. But also, the carbon protects the tiller. Now, to show you this, I can show you this on a longer one. Let's see here. Okay, actually I was holding it the whole time, the one I was looking for, and this is what I wanted to show you. So this particular bow does not have carbon in it, and it's really long. This is a long Houdini. This one is 60 inches. Now, this is one of the prototypes, and I wanted to show you something here. So if you'll take a look, you'll see this string right here is touching, and over here it's not. That is because this bow is so aggressive that without the stability of the carbon core, the tiller is actually affected. So watch this. See that? So that is not holding its shape because there is so much deflex and reflex in there that without the carbon, it's not holding its shape. So that's why the carbon is so important on this model, because it's the most extreme deflex and reflex on the market today, which allows it to be super fast and smooth. But because of that design, it has to have that stability in the core. So now I'm going to string one up, and I'm going to show you one with carbon and how it reacts. Okay, so what I have here is a 54-inch Red River Gray model. Really striking and pretty, in my opinion. A lot of mass here with the FR4 G10. So this one does have carbon, so I'm going to show you the difference here. So we're going to go ahead and string this one up. Okay, my stringer. Okay, so this is a 54-inch with carbon, but take a look at this. So when I do this, see, it holds it. It holds its tiller. It does not allow that tiller to do what this other one was, which is like this. So with that super aggressive limb, you need that 20 thousandths of carbon in the core to maintain proper tiller and keep its shape, which with proper brace height and the carbon core, you're not ever going to change that tiller. It's going to be perfect. So let me show you this bow drawn. Huge amount of potential energy stored in those limbs. Huge amount. So the grip, shelf, and side plate on the Houdini, I want to cover that on this bow real quickly here. So it's got a forward handle, as you can see. It's a real nice, I would call it a medium wrist. It's not super high, it's not low, but it's shaped in the profile of the bow coming back here at the 25-degree angle, and it really indexes well. It's very, very comfortable. You can see there's a thumb grip here, thumb rest, which if you're into really customizing your bow, you know, we can put antler there, ram's horn, moose horn, buffalo horn to really dress it up. If you want even more of a ledge there, it's got that thumb grip there. It's got a nice area. Some people shoot with their, like I shoot with my whole palm down on the bow. Nick shoots like this, sort of, but it's going to work well for either style. Now, what's really important with this bow, and what I have not really seen on a lot of these hybrid longbows, see, I had one here. Oh, I reshaped that one. But what's really important with this bow is this actually right here. So this coming up over the webbing of your hand, this is important for an overall feel. This protects your hand from the fletchings right here, but even more importantly, it locks that hand in. So that is super repeatable, because you grab it, locked in, and it stays exactly the same spot every time. So you got that ledge, which is the shelf, coming back over the webbing between your thumb and forefinger, locking your hand in. Now, on the shelf, these bows are cut to center. They are not cut past center. So they are not what you would call a true center shop bow. They are cut to center, which when you're looking at it, it might look like, oh, they're not quite cut to center. They are cut to center. It just looks this way because whenever I put the side bevel on, I take a little bit of that shelf off, and so it looks like maybe the shelf should be over here. Now, I do that on purpose because we want the minimum amount of arrow contact on the shelf and side plate as the arrow goes across. Now, the high point of this shelf is directly above the webbing of your thumb and forefinger right here, which is the fulcrum of the bow. That's the pivot point. So that's the most accurate type of bow, is when the high point is directly over the fulcrum of the bow. So as this arrow, when you set your fletchings, you know, one fletching is going to go right in the corner there where the side plate and the shelf meet. The other fletching is going to come just right here, and it's going to miss the bevel here of the shelf. And so essentially the only contact you're going to have, depending on how smooth and clean your release is just that little bit whispering right across that high fulcrum high point of the shelf. So the other thing that is really nice about these and some of the hybrid longbows that are on the market today is the side plate is cut where the limb comes down and then it goes in abruptly. I do not do that on any of my bows, and there's a reason for that. I want this whole thing open. I want an open sight window so that you can see straight through. You can perfectly see your target. If you're hunting, you can see the animal. I don't want anything obstructing my vision right through there. So on a bow that's not center shot, that's cut to center like the Houdini, if you are used to shooting a center shot recurve or any bow, the simplest way to bring that into alignment is simply to cant the bow. So as you cant it, it's going to bring that arrow over and into a center shot position in your line of sight. So that's the way I do it. So if I'm going to draw it, you can see where it's straight now. When I move that over, that moves that arrow over into alignment to where it actually performs like a center shot bow. So here's it drawn. Straight, canted. So it's a very cool, unique profile when strung and drawn. It looks like a boomerang. Super aggressive, fast, short hunting bow, but also so important that it is able to be shot by guys with really short draw lengths and still have the full potential of the limbs, maximizing the potential energy into kinetic energy. So I'm going to show you here a couple We've got a lot of our standard collars here. Now you can go on the website, you can customize, you can order whatever species you want. We will still, as Great Plains does, we have our standard collars like the Red River Gray. This particular Red River Gray is solid G10, which normally we would put a cap or a grip out of charcoal Dymalux or Spectraply in here. I actually kind of like this better because this is a pretty light bow. You know, you're with light standard woods. I mean, the whole weight of this bow is about a pound. So with a solid G10 or FR4 riser, you're getting up there, you know, a pound and a half or closer to 2 pounds. Probably not 2 pounds, probably closer to a pound and a half. But I'm going to show you some of the bows here we got. Some of these are available on the website. Half of these are sold already. But here we got our standard Cazador with the rosewood riser, Pacific U limbs. This is the Blackhawk. It's got Bacote limbs, Bacote grip, FR4 cap. Then the Red River Gray, which I showed you here, is the Wolf Creek, which has zebra limbs and an FR4 cap with Padauk grip. And then they have the corresponding matching overlays. These all have laminated tips. These can be ordered with any of the tip selections that we've got. Ram's horn, buffalo, anything that we carry. Here is another Cazador. In the Cazador, if you're familiar with Great Plains, the limbs are either bamboo or Pacific U. This is a bamboo. Bamboo limbs, cocobolo riser or rosewood riser. Here's another Blackhawk. Here's another Cazador Pacific U. This is our Rio Bravo, a real popular color scheme among our customers. It's got the Bacote, the rosewood cap, and Bacote grip with yellow accents. Here is a Texas Hunter. The Texas Hunter has mesquite limbs with the cocobolo riser. And then finally another Rio Bravo. So, like any of our bows, you can customize the woods, the limb, the veneers, but it all comes with a carbon core to maintain our tiller integrity and also keep that super aggressive limb profile structurally intact. So that's the Houdini on the name there. The Houdini is slang for the tawny owl, so that is one reason I named it the Houdini. And another reason is that it fits in real small, tight spaces and is very agile and versatile, just like the man Houdini that we all know. Okay, here I've got an arrow knocked up on one. Now this is a 250 spine, 46 pound, 28 inches, 54 inch length Houdini hybrid. So I've got an apple set up over there. I don't know if I can hit that. And we're about 17, 18 yards maybe here. I did not hit the apple. Let me try again. Closer. I will get it. Oh, very close. But it's just very smooth to shoot. Now this string has pretty crappy silencers on it. It's important with this profile to put a pretty good set of silencers on it. You've got so much energy stored in these limbs, and the string is very close to the limb, and so you do need a good set of silencers on your string. You can make these whisper quiet. Some, depending on your shooting style and your release and everything, you may need to put just a little bit of moleskin right here because the limb is so aggressive that you're touching the limb just a little bit there with your string. So there's parts of this bow that kind of mimic parts of a recurve bow. Just a screaming fast little bow. Now we got the camera set up behind me here. You can see the apple down there. It's probably pretty small in the camera, but I'm canting this bow. I'm just to the right of it there. You can see. Now these are pretty heavy arrows here. not super heavy. They would be about 10 grains per pound, something like that. Same place there. There it is. Smoked the apple. One more, just for fun. Now we'll try to... Alright guys, so here we are with the target. I'll give you a little history of my shot sequence with the camera was behind me. My first arrow, the apple was about right here. My first arrow went to the right here. And then I shot high, up here. And then I refocused, got a clean release, and hammered the apple. The next shot I took, I decided I would try to aim for the arrow I missed up high. And boom, I hit it. I'm touching. So, you know, I'm not the best archer, but this one here definitely wasn't a great shot. Neither was this first one that I shot up high. But the last two, I got dialed in, and my third shot smoked the apple. My fourth shot hit exactly where I was aiming with these other arrows. So, there it is, guys. It's the hybrid longbow, the Houdini. Really fun little bow. If you're after a short hunting bow that can get into tight places, or if you have a super short draw, like a 24, 25, 26 inch draw, I can accommodate that draw and give you all the performance you're ever going to need with this short hunting bow, the Houdini hybrid.